It's time to talk Jazz basketball with the CEO of the Utah Jazz and NBA legend, Danny Ainge. With Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, and Jazz CEO Danny Ainge kind enough to join us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Danny, how you doing?
Hey, Danny.
I'm good. How are you guys today?
Well, we're at a barbecue joint, and we're knee-deep in ribs that are perfectly smoked and cooked, and we got brisket coming on the way. We got multiple sides. So, Danny, I'd say that I'm on cloud nine. I'm pretty much in heaven. Oh, and I'm headed to Lubbock here in 2 days, so pretty excited about the upcoming weekend.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you guys.
I know. Yeah, it's a rough living, Danny, but we find a way to get through it.
We're going to power through this in the name of Danny Ainge. We're going to power through this thing.
Okay.
Hey, let's talk. Obviously, the big story of the day is Walker Kessler. We'll get to that here in a bit. But you had a chance to go down and see your alma mater in Las Vegas, BYU and Villanova. I don't want to be careful. I know you can't talk about individual players, but overall, this is a lot of expectations have been set for this team, and they didn't disappoint in game number one. What do you think of the Cougars right out of the gate?
No, so first of all, it was good. Good little tournament. It was with Florida and Arizona to lead the night. It was a good game and a lot of exciting action. Close game down to the wire. Either team could win. Same thing with BYU. BYU had a good victory against, I think, an underrated team in Villanova. I mean, they look pretty good. I think they're going to beat some teams. They got a handful of good players and very well coached. I think that it was a good win for BYU.
How familiar are you with Kevin Young's coaching style, Danny?
I might have told you guys, I tried to hire Kevin Young in my days with the Celtics. Wanted him to come in when he was about 28 years old, I'll say, approximately, when I was trying to get him to come in and run our entire G League program. And so I've been a fan of Kevin's for a long time.
So Walker Kessler, the Jazz just announced that he will undergo season-ending surgery. How do you, as somebody that's close to these guys, but also part of the front office, your heart breaks for a guy that's going through this. What's the message to somebody that's dealing with a season-ending injury?
Well, Walker's a big part of our team, and it's a real bummer first. It's like a bummer for everybody. He's put in a lot of work this summer. He got off to a really good start this year. It's very unfortunate for everybody involved.
So with where he's at kind of in his career coming into year three, Danny, just talk about the impact that this has on him and what he needs to do to kind of get back into it and get back to where he needs to be.
It's a shoulder surgery, and it's most players come back from it really well. I have all the faith in Walker and our team that'll put him back together physically, and so it's a real important time for him to just watch and study and be around and help all the young players and learn himself, and keeps diving into the film and paying attention mentally how he can get better there.
How's his spirits and what he's one of the most positive people you'll ever meet, happy-go-lucky, but this is a kick to the gut. How's he handling the news, and what you and Will Hardy and Austin, what's your message been to him?
I think that just hang in there. I mean, it's not fun going through these things as players, but like I said, this is an injury that most everybody comes back from feeling better. I mean, Walker's had some shoulder issues and missed some games with shoulder pain, and so it'll be good to get it resolved. It's just not fun while we're going through it in the middle of the year when we were counting big things from him.
So whose minutes does this impact? Who will we see kind of pick up those extra minutes, especially on the young guy side?
Well, I think we got to go look outside, but I think inside we have some good players that help us in the meantime. But we're going to continue to look and try to strengthen our team the best we can.
When you say outside, I guess everything's on the table, from trade, G League to wherever you can find good players, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Oscar is down in the G League, and Mo Bamba is down in the G League, and they're starting their season quick. Nurkic and Kevin Love will hold the fort down. Taylor Hendricks will probably get some minutes at center, is my guess. Kyle Filipowski played some center second half of last year and played really well, especially on the offensive end. So we have some other options in-house right now, and we're excited to give them opportunities.
You know, we continue to see really bright moments from this Jazz team, and Danny, none better than getting that win against Boston and doing it on the road in your old home. How important was that win? What did you take away from it? What can this team take away from it?
You know, I think that we've played 7 games. I think we've had 4 really good efforts, really good, and 3 not so good efforts. I don't know what happened in Charlotte, but you know, it does happen even to the great teams. You just wet the bed for whatever reason. And then we didn't start out the Boston game very good, but I thought that coming off the bench, Elijah Harkless kind of gave us a little spark with his defensive intensity, and then Keyonte, you know, gave everybody confidence, and everybody was emotionally into the game. And, you know, Boston's a tough place to win, and to go in there and have that kind of second half that we had was very fun to watch, and I felt great for the guys.
So there's conversations from those that say Ace Bailey needs to play more minutes. There's some that say, no, let's gradually work him in. How are you generally with rookies, and what is your philosophy with Ace in working him into a point where he can play a real significant part of a significant portion of the minutes?
Well, first of all, you know, I'm not one to ever rush it. I mean, I remember we saw Jaylen Brown the other night. We saw what a great player he's become, and a finals MVP in his career. And I mean, Jaylen was playing 16 minutes a game as a rookie. And, you know, Ace was probably going to play a little bit more in these first handful of games had he not gotten sick for a week, and that set him back. And so Ace is, you know, he's made progress already in the last few games. And I think that his minutes will come and go, but he's got to earn them. You got to earn them, and you can't just be given things for free in this business. So when you do get an opportunity to play, you got to go out there and play defense and scrap and rebound and do all the things it takes for us to win, so you earn the respect of your teammates and your coaches.
Just selfishly, I wanted to ask you about Isaiah Collier. A guy that I loved from last year, showed a ton of toughness. He is an assist machine, and I felt like he would be somebody that have a bright future in this league. Can you fill me in where you are with Isaiah Collier, where he's at with the Utah Jazz right now?
Yeah, I like Isaiah too. That was a bummer when he got hurt later in the summer right before training camp, and he's been out and he's been working hard to get himself back. He played in an exhibition game the other day in the G League, and he looked better physically, just a little bit rusty. But his time is coming. He'll get some minutes and see how far away he is, or if he's ready to go now.
We talked a little bit last week about the development both on and off the court with Keyonte George. That's a young man that's, to me, showing a lot of maturity, and I know you mentioned his performance against Boston. To be able to, in that kind of a venue against that kind of team, turn it on and play at that level, I thought was really tremendous in his development as a person and as a player. And you talk about earning minutes, and he certainly has done that. What are some of the things that you talked to him before the season about wanting to improve, and do you think he's on track to getting to where you want him and need him to be?
Yeah, I talk a lot to Keyonte. I think that, he's got a lot of people in his ear, so you got to be careful how many people are trying to tell him things all the time. But he seems really in a good place right now emotionally. Before the season started, it started this summer with his hard work, his conditioning. I mean, he really was focused and on all the right things, and I think it's showing. And it's fun to see that a player of his caliber be rewarded for putting in the work that's necessary.
Well, we're excited. You got a game tonight against the Detroit Pistons in Detroit. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They've started out the season extremely hot. Cunningham is a complete beast. What can we kind of expect from tonight's game with Utah Jazz?
Yeah, this is a tough team. They're very good defensively. They're long and athletic with a big point guard that's one of the top point guards in the NBA, Cunningham. But yeah, they have good depth and good youth and good energy. And it's going to be a tough game for us to win. We're going to have to play better than we did in the Boston game. We're not going to be able to have any droughts like we have had the last few. So I'm excited for the game.
You know, you mentioned some outside voices, and I'm always curious to know, as a CEO or general manager, even back in your years as a coach, when you bring in guys that are very close and have relied on AAU coaches and high school coaches and college coaches and close family members for all the years in their life and their development, and to try to say, okay, we need to hone in on what we're telling you to do. I know you have a lot of other people telling you, and they've got opinions, and you love and trust and respect them, but you got to listen to us. What are those? How difficult is that for sometimes for players to kind of quiet some of the outside noise and just focus in on what this team is asking him to do?
Well, anybody that's been a parent knows the answer to that question. Your kids don't always listen to you, and sometimes it's someone else that connects with them and gets them to think right. And sometimes they have to learn the hard way. And everybody's different. Every child is different. Every player we get in, especially young players, they are in a different phase of life, a different phase of understanding who they need to listen to. And it's one of the most important things that we talk to players about in figuring out in their careers is, who are you listening to? And, in a world of social media, that is more complex. But we're trying to get the right people around them, the right players in the locker room, the right staff working with them. And we have a good coach that's a great communicator. And I just think that, hopefully like we just talked about with Keyonte, I don't know who he's listening to and who he would tell you, but he feels like, by the way he's going about his job, I don't care who it is, he's listening to the right people because he's doing the right things.
Well, Danny, I know you got Saturday off. You play at Minnesota Friday, and then you're at home against Minnesota Monday. You got a nice little Saturday-Sunday window. How about we get you up in the booth with Greg Wrubell and I calling on this Texas Tech BYU game?
I would love it, but I'm headed out on the road to go watch some early season college basketball. Headed to North Carolina and New York City and Louisville, Kentucky. I got a lot of games to cover over the next couple weeks.
The work never stops.
Can you watch a game just as a fan of the game of basketball, or are you always analyzing players and strengths and weaknesses and looking at the X's and O's, or can you just mentally disconnect and enjoy a game?
Oh, I can watch football that way, but in basketball, I'm always analyzing them. I'm analyzing the personalities, how they're connecting with other players, their interaction with referees, with coaches, how they respond to bad play and how they respond to good play. Yeah, I don't know. That's just how I'm wired, and I've always been that way.
Well, you're also very gracious.
I like to watch the players.
You're also very gracious with your time, and the camera caught you a few times in Vegas, and you're busy with conversation. How do you even get to watch a game with as many people that want to talk to you?
Yeah, no, I think that I enjoy the environment of the games, and there's dead times in sports where you have time to talk to people, and I enjoy the people and the business part of the business part.
I was telling Hans the story. I did the Jazz pre-half and post-game shows for a lot of years with the late, great Tom Nasalki. And we would sit there and watch a game, and Tom would look at a player in the fourth quarter or in crunch time going to a free throw line, and he'd say, he's 2 for 2, or he's 1 for 2. He's like, oh, no, he's going to miss both. And he would just tell that by the body language. And he was right about, 75, 80% of the time, because as a coach, he just could read body language. Is it sometimes that telling on guys when you can really look at a guy and say, I can tell where he's at mentally?
Oh, yeah, you can see where they're at. I don't know if I could project if he's going to make or miss shots, but I can tell where he's at mentally. A lot of players are very demonstrative and wear their emotions on their sleeves, and some players keep everything inside. And and hide what they're really feeling, but you can still see some. But yeah, it's fun because like every player is so different in how they approach this game and how they approach life, and that's what makes it fun. It would be boring. It would be a boring world if we were all the same.
Well, Danny, I know Jazz Nation is sending Walker Kessler all their love, and hopefully he can recover, heal, and get back in the same shape and form he was as he went out, because, man, those first 5 games were amazing. He was great in those first 5.
Yeah, we'll just try to keep him involved with the team as much as we can, and we have a great staff of people that'll get him right, and I think Walker will be in a good spot to come back better than ever.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Danny. Thanks for your time as always.
Danny, thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
There he is, Danny Ainge, CEO of the Utah Jazz.